So how to do some texture and apply some textured brushes to your work. I would recommend doing this after you've got your whole design finished like this. After you've done that and you've done your color choices, the final thing to do is to think about using textured brushes in certain areas. Typically you want to do this black and white, but you can use color as well. So, first thing you want to do is go to Schoology, Design Resources. Let me show you here. Design Resources. And inside the Illustrator brushes, that's what we're going to use. You're going to go to the texture brushes for Draw Inside mode. Cartoon brushes, these are ones that we use to apply to the pen tool. But this is what we're going to draw with the paint tool. And I would download both of them and then open both of them as I have here into Illustrator so that you can kind of pick and choose and see what each one kind of looks like. So how do you open them up? Well, you have to go to your window, brushes, and then you're going to go to the option menu, open brush library, other, and you're going to go to where you downloaded Arcadia brushes right here. You're going to go to where you downloaded them and you're going to hit open. That opens one, and then the same process to open the other. Alright, so click on a shape, go to draw inside, get my paintbrush, not my blob brush, click on the one I want, and because I clicked on the shape, right, it automatically loaded the colors of what this is over here. So now that I have my paintbrush activated, I want to do this with black, and I don't want any stroke. So there we go. And I'm using that. So I'm going to start painting some shapes and textures in here. Maybe stroke down a little bit more. I can paint over to build up that texture. I can just click once to do a little bit. There we go. I think I'll stop there. Don't forget, when you're done with the draw inside mode, go back to draw normal. So there's one. And I would do this, it's not something, you want to use an enormous amount. You don't want to overdo the effect. So you can do this in some of these to add some dimension and some cool texture. And you could also just do it straight over your work. So I can get my tool here. Maybe let's do that one, and let's do black again. Switch. Okay. I don't want to have anything selected. Alright, so there we go. Black. Switch them that. And let's go ahead and increase the stroke. Let's try 6, see what happens. And just kind of painting on the background. Make sure you're doing it on a layer above everything so you can actually see what it is you're doing. So that's going to white. I want no white. I want black. So that's pretty good. I can hit Command Z, maybe a different texture. It's a little bit large. So you're just gonna, yeah, that's a nice one. Let's get, there we go. So I can kind of paint over in areas here to add some more texture to my work. Maybe increase the size of it. It's too much. So the size it was at was good. I think it was 1. Yeah. Okay, so I could do that. Now, obviously with this, right, I've already done the same thing with the blob brush. So you're going to do the blob brush in the same way. If I want to do some colors, some of this work I did here, as you can tell in this yellow circle, this is the blob brush. I did the blob brush in this shape as well. This arch shape, I just clicked on it, draw inside, got my blob brush, black. All right, and you can draw inside like so. Now, the question is, after I have done maybe the blob brush, so for instance, this one, maybe I move this one out of the way a little bit. And you can always erase too, right? You can get your eraser. If you did a little bit too much, you can erase some of that. But I want to do now, not just with the blob brush inside this circle, but I want to do some of the space noise textured brush as well. So I'm going to have to click on this circle. There we go. But look, I can't click on the draw inside anymore. So what am I going to do? How am I going to put some texture just inside of this circle? Well, instead of the draw inside mode here, I need to double click on my circle. Here we go. Now in isolation mode, I've isolated this circle from everything else by double clicking on it. I can click on it now. There we go. And there's the draw inside mode back. So I can go back now, get the space brush that I want, get my, not my blob brush, but that brush, make sure I have just, I don't want to use my with the stroke, I want to use it with a solid fill. And so now I can paint inside here and add some texture to this circle. There we go, it's pretty good. Maybe a little bit more down here. All right. And then outside of draw inside mode, go back to normal mode, and then double click outside, and I come back. All right, so that is the process of how to add texture to your shapes. Do this deliberately. Don't just throw the paintbrush around. You don't want to over apply the effect, but as you can tell, right, it certainly brings some nice quality to finished quality to the work, adding this another level of texture. But like I said, be diligent with how much you use and where you use it, so it doesn't kind of look like a mess or anything. All right, that is all for this checkpoint.